Will I regret it if I don't start enjoying my life before I'm 30? There is no answer to this. It entirely depends on you and your personality. For everyone who focused on having fun in their 20s and is glad about that decision, there is someone who wishes they focused on their career in their 20s because they aren't happy in their current situation. And for everyone that focused on their career in their 20s and thinks it was the right decision, there is one that regrets it. So you need to know what is more important to you, and unfortunately you will only know it in hindsight. But it's never too late for either side. You can still enjoy life in your 30s, 40s, 50s, etc., but you can also fix your career and finances in your 30s, 40s, 50s. I feel like I missed out on my 20s due to being broke. There's pros and cons. I had some experiences in my 20s that very few people get. I'm now 37 and work a good job with a young family. I'm still enjoying life. I'm 48. I had a great time in my 20s and 30s. I'm comfortable, but I don't own a home or really anything. But I had a really good time. My friend is the same age. He didn't drink at all in his 20s and 30s. He started a business in 2002 and worked his ass off. Now, we hang out on his yacht. 48 isn't nearly as old as you think it is. I would recommend a hybrid approach. He feels like he missed out on a lot in his 20s. But did I mention the yacht? You are going to regret something no matter what you do. Number 1 rule: gotta learn to live with regrets. You had no alternative. Regret would be wasted energy. I know that doesn't mean you won't feel some. Just try to dwell on the positive instead. You're making progress and will get it together soon. Then enjoy the rest of a long life. Every decade is enjoyable if you do it right. Remember, some people never get it together. The ideal time to enjoy your life is your whole entire life. I put the hard work in during my 20s and have thoroughly enjoyed my 30s. Looking forward to enjoying the 40s and beyond. It's literally never too late. Find joy in each season, phase and day, and it will be a life well lived. Dude, real talk. I spent most of my life single-mindedly focused on school and shrugging off socializing so that I could make it through school. I didn't really start having a real girlfriend until like 27. What I've learned from all this is that life is ultimately about balance. If you get sick tomorrow, you'll regret never having done anything. But if you don't prepare your career and get your life together, by the time you're 30, you'll regret that you didn't work harder in your 20s. It's all about balance. Enjoy your life because you don't know when you're gonna get sick or die or get trapped inside for 2 years because of pandemic. But also have your life put together so you can be a man in your 30s with money and a nice home. If you're in extremely poor circumstances, then you sound similar to me. I would focus more on your career and pulling yourself up to gain a good job. Sometimes life is unfair that way and some people start the race with a disadvantage. But I can tell you that I look back and I believe it was worth it. I'm 31 now and I have a house, a nice car, a loving girlfriend and a great job. I'm in my early 50s and am still wondering this. Yes, part of my very much regrets some of the choices I made as a teenager. And in my 20s, 30s and even 40s. Yes, all those choices have made me who I am today. Just not sure if that's who I wanted to be, or even if that's a good thing. However, I also don't think I could have made different choices. And certainly I cannot know what effect those choices would have had. In short, do stuff. Enjoy stuff. Don't care too much about others think of you or of your way to find your happiness. And then accept the Sinatra doctrine. Easier said than done, I admit. Comparison is the thief of joy. With that said, Your 20s are only a waste if you don't enjoy them and aren't actually making significant gains. Life is plenty enjoyable at 48. And I was miserable at 20. Do what you need to do. And don't put more stress on yourself. Being young is very hard. But, as I tell my kids, it gets better. You or me. I'm pushing 40, 37 now, and I'm just now tipping the scale back my direction. Life is fantastic. It's absolutely worth it. You got this. What nobody tells you is that coming up rough you'll appreciate things more than you would have if you hadn't. It's twisted but inspiring. I practice gratitude daily and have always been grateful I lived long enough to see the benefit. I lived through many dark times, but survived them all. Now the hard work is starting to pay off and I get to know what optimism feels like. Honestly, I don't think you will regret it. Regret is for opportunities you had and didn't take. You don't feel regret for opportunities you didn't even have in the first place. You may feel anger and resentment for that, but not regret. And you will have opportunities later on. You will find happiness. Don't ignore chances for happiness now. If you can take them without too much cost, there are always moments of joy that can be found. And it is worth it to look for them and enjoy the ones you can find. At the same time, don't focus so much on those as to lose your way on the bigger situation. I know a lot of people whose 20s sucked. Bad relationships. Stuck in careers and lives that their parents pushed them into that didn't fit. Poor and struggling. And many of them became happier later. There's always something to regret. That person that lived the way you wished you did, they also think they should have done things differently. It's really up to you. How you decide to see things. If you manage to convince yourself of a certain way to see things. Yeah, you can't control the world and the world can influence your thoughts. But you are in control of how you react to said influence. How you feel about it. That's in your control. Being happy is 99% a decision. Conscious or not. In my mid-30s now with 2 kids, a wife and a house, I can tell you that I am enjoying my life despite working hard and having a lot of family obligations. And I'm very happy I spent a significant amount of my 20s suffering to get here. Also, the work itself had some meaning. It's not like I look back at all the work I did and say, that was totally not worthwhile versus enjoying myself. Just because events aren't as enjoyable doesn't make them not meaningful. You won't regret it provided what you're doing now makes it easier in the future. Work hard, live beneath your means, and enjoy the moments you do have. And if you follow the first 2, you'll have more of the third. I'm 30 and only started getting my life in gear about a year ago. The only thing I regret was wasting time not doing anything because it felt easier not to. If you are moving forward, you have nothing you will regret. 30 is not too old. My life started at 30. It took me all of my 20s to get it together, but I hit 30 and I felt better than ever. I also look the best I ever had. There is no timeline. I'm gonna go for a strong no. Grew up dead poor. Like sometimes we didn't have food. Had to steal electricity to run our fridge. By 14, I was fluent with debt collectors. I'm not even 40, but I have over 20 years or industry experience. Started, and badly failed, our first company at 15. Didn't give up though. I've spent 15 of that 20 years with nothing but absolutely massive grinding in career and life. At times, I had 2 companies beside my full-time job. It became fun over the years. I've literally put everything behind 2 things. 1. Getting successful. 2. Be at least 2 layovers and immigration check away from my family. There is a way too much to tell you about here. But I clearly remember we were some 19 years old, having a LAN party. Before the online gaming, And I had to ask them to quiet down Friday night, because I have work in the morning. Enjoying life in your 30s is different. I don't want to party, drink or sleep around. That actually looks pretty dumb right now. I can do anything I want. Reasonable. Sometimes that's watching Rick and Morty, taking my car to track, fly to Europe for a holiday, barbecue in the backyard, or just walk my dog and listen to books. Doesn't matter. I finally learned to do what I want instead of peer pressure. Plus, coming from a shish 1T background will make you appreciate the smallest spoils in life. I would add that I have a wife I adore and a daughter I love more than anything. But these probably wouldn't resonate much yet. I do want to give them a much better family life than what I had. So, no, if you grind yourself to success, it means something else to everyone. You will not feel like you have missed anything. If something still makes you feel like you missed it, you go out. Try and realize it's dumb. There is a reason the things you feel pressured to enjoy are accessible to kids with no experience and no money. P.S. At 15, I wasn't legally allowed to start a company, so we build through a friend. Everyone starts at different ages, don't worry about it. Some people start at 70 because of life, and that's cool too. I think the biggest thing is learning how to be content regardless of your life situation. In my 30s, taking more time for myself now, getting back into camping, hiking, backpacking, etc. My knees hurt, back upsetting sometimes. It's much more difficult today and requires more planning both before and after. There's always time until there's not. There is no perfect moment to do something, and in waiting for one you will miss many perfectly okay moments you failed to take advantage of. Enjoy now whenever you can and plan and prepare for the future. But don't wait for the future, which may never come.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.